And now we get to play Death Knight. I'll tell you what, my mods have not been around much lately. I've been updating all my own business here. Working my fingers to the bone on these commands. For the good of the audience. Alright. I have been playing a lot of Bloodrune Death Knight. But when Asphyxiate is your first pick, I don't think you pass it up. Such a strong card. Bonebreaker is also quite strong. Just for curiosity's sake, I'll look at the win rates. Bonebreaker's win rate is higher by 1.5%. That surprises me. So maybe let's take a moment to think about this then. And don't get me wrong, I love Bonebreaker. Great to have a weapon on one. Dominate the early game. I would have thought such a good hard removal would be worth more. As a first pick, we're really making a statement of intent for the deck. If you take Bonebreaker, you still have most of your possibilities wide open. I don't love Frost. I don't think I want to lean into Frost. Let's take Asphyxiate. Bloodrune has been pretty good to us. And I'll take a single Unholy. I think that's good too. I'll find 3-drops, but this gets you corpses. And if we can find Malignant Horrors, we definitely want those corpses. Vicious Bloodworm is okay. Guard has a better win rate. I think I like Guard better. Nice follow-up to Graveyard Shift. Coroner certainly was our friend last run. Brittleskin versus Scalebane. I think I like the Scalebane. Good card. Oh, this is interesting though. So far we have a Shadow and a Frost. So Death Knight is a class where you can pick up a lot of different spell schools. Pretty much all of them. Which makes Multicaster a very strong card in the class. Great for refill. Coroner is also a nice pick. 2 Coroners. I would not hate that. Could be a bit... Yeah, let's see. Coroner. Percentage and a half higher win rate than Multicaster. I have found that a lot of my Death Knights are susceptible to running out of material post-nerf. And Multicaster is really effective for that. So I'm quite torn on this pick. We already have 2 spell schools. If Multicaster draws 2 cards, it's already worth it. Let me take a second Coroner. We'll trust that we can get value later in the draft. I like Dracor. Or maybe Infiltrator. I guess we go Drake for stats. This can be quite good for us. Almost always take it. Almost always take the Sentinel. Pretty happy with an Ashbringer here. I will take another Graveyard Shift. Again, we're pretty happy with it. My only hope is we get ourselves at least 1 Malignant Horror. Heart Strike, Plated Beetle. Probably Heart Strike. Beetle has a higher win rate, huh? That's funny. Well, thing is, we don't have twos. We don't have ones, twos, or threes. We have Graveyard Shift, that's about it. So, maybe it's Beetle, or maybe you take Heart Strike to control in the early game. Let's go with the class card. That's great, we need that value. Yes! Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Possessifier? Love it. Love the card. We're gonna have a lot of corpses in this deck. This is also a phenomenal card. Would love to find... This should be pretty good for us. Would love to find another Malignant. But who wouldn't? Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 applicable spells. That's a lot, actually. Are we taking the Auctioneer? A Death Knight with a Gadgets on Auctioneer is not boring, all black. That's exciting. I mean, Streetwise is not good. It's a hell of a higher win rate, though. But, like, if we're paranoid about running out of value, do we take the Auctioneer here? 7 spells that goes with it is a lot. 8 if you count the coin. So currently for value, we just have Chill Fallen. That's it. I'm gonna be cheeky and take it. When do you ever get to take this card? Sea Giant. Are you better than Deathstrike? The win rates say you're a little bit better. We do already have a Deathstrike, so I guess I could take a Sea Giant. Not interested in Doctor, though. Could be interested in Clergy. Could definitely be interested in Clergy. Like, with, like, things that we would want to heal, Dark Transformation is good for that. Maybe even Bone Digger. The 2 Sentinels are fantastic for healing. Malignant is good. Stuff with Guard and Value Trade. What meta, not what meta is that, I know what meta it is, but what cards are that, Big Nuts Jim? Is it like Astalor or something? Yeah, we'll take the Clergy there. I think Neophyte's good, but Baron might still be better. But we need something to use our corpses on. Yeah, Baron's a lot better. Stalag. So let's look at our spells. Heart Strike, Icy Touch, Dark Transformation, Asphyxiate, 2 Graveyard Shifts, a Death Strike. Seven spells. Astalor is a mere 79%. Poor fellow. So Lich King did a lot of great stuff for us when we drafted him before. I have to say it's a great deck for Malygos. Like if you play Malygos and survive, you're gonna have Death Strike to heal. You're gonna have Graveyard Shift for stuff on the board. Icy Touch to freeze. I like Lich King, I think it's fun, but doesn't this kind of look like a Malagos deck, chat? Do you have any insights here? But don't just sit there. Does the Lich King say anything special when you play his own cards? It says like Agent Smith in The Matrix, Reloaded. Me. Me too. Malagos powers up your auctioneer. It might be overkill by that point, but yeah, I mean, if we're in a hyper control game, I'm gonna take it. I think it makes sense. So we're kind of good on value now, probably. I take Skulker just because we have so few 2s. Death Speaker's better. But I've been really struggling to get Death Speaker to work more recently. I kind of want the Skulker. I know it's worse, but... Okay, 2 pretty good cards here. Probably Cadaver for initiative. Oh, you know it, Pudding Box. You know it. Good ear. Identical win rates. Give me another horror. How you doing today, Seb? Third Coroner would be great, but we need something to play here on 2, and that's a great card. I'm not into these. I'll take a Walnut Sprite, I guess. Okay, kind of a crappy end to the draft there, but... So we're very control-y, I think. We don't have any crazy impact cards. We would be maybe more control-y if we had, like, the Blood Rune removal cards. Like Corpse Explosion. You just woke up? I've been cranking for 4.5 hours now. I'm a machine. I'm a Nareen machine. But even though we don't have a lot of the highest power cards in the class, we do have 2 Sentinels, and we have 1 Malignant Horror, so we can go places, I think. I'm ambivalent on you. Maybe you could stick around, just in case we get into trouble in the early game. Stranger things have happened. Okay. Not a promising hand. I mean, it could just shoot that. But I don't... look at how he drew. He threw away big stuff. We got big stuff. I've seen a lot of people tempoing this. That's crazy to me. I mean, this could be a scenario where we could consider tempoing it. Because if we do, then we Heartstrike and Horror. I think we actually have to tempo. Just as I get finished trash talking our opponent for the play, I think we might have to do it. As they kill this, we have 2 corpses. No, it still doesn't work though. So we could use this to get a 3rd, but it's not enough. It still might be the play. We're really backed into a corner here.
Ready to fight for a better future?
This and this hurt. This really hurt to draw. Okay. Dude. Maybe hero power to clear Point Malignant or some such. Yeah, it would be very difficult in this deck to draw worse than we did. But it's still tight, still close. Hosen.
24/7 support. 24 installments of 7 Canadian dollars.
Yes.
Easy.
Easy. Thank you. -1. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to have your support. What a thrill. What a thrill. Hope you've been doing well. I guess we horror here. I don't really know that we even use this. I mean, it gets another body out. Do this, coin that next turn. We're making it up as we go. Yeah, you've been busy with work stuff, holiday stuff. Probably a combination thereof. Possibly also you're bored with the meta, I don't know. It's nice to see you here today. Things have been good on stream. I was also away for a week at home. Last year sucked, man. I'm not gonna lie. Last year beat me up. So, trying to turn a corner from that, you know? So they can't quite... Okay, never mind. They can do everything that they need to do. They can do everything. Give me that, and coin Sea Giant and kill 2/1. Get ready to get asphyxiated. So what do we know about their runes? They have 1 green and 1 red. So, still most cards they could have. 2023, the year of the blob. I'm due, I think. I'm due for a year. Wasting coin with Auctioneer in hand. My main concern is not value. We're fine on value. We have Malagos. My main concern is not getting stomped right now. And it's going pretty well. Silver Moon comes out next turn. Which is great. We could even maybe freeze something. You were one of the many whose trip was canceled by inclement weather. Now, were you part of the Southwest debacle? Because that wasn't just inclement weather, that was a whole host of things. I don't know if I care to use Coroner here. In fact, I think I don't care to use it here. I should start counting spells. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 left in deck. I've used a lot of spells. Used half my spells. Okay, yours was just a train. So you take a train to go home to the family. Is it across... What do you have up there? Provinces? Is it across borders, or... like, how many hours is the train ride? Just out of morbid travel curiosity. Yeah, this game looks okay. We should be able to outvalue our opponent. I mean, that's a Coroner target, right? I think we need to Coroner this turn. Drake and Auctioneer both get better after Malagos, but yeah, it really feels like Coroner wants to happen now so that this can happen. I don't know. Maybe you just bite the bullet there in Malagos. Maybe that's smarter. This feels like we maintain more control over the situation, but that could be a temporary illusion. As long as we could kill this 8/6. Four-hour trip. Oh man, that was a good Swift Messenger. And what did you made a you made a copy of Morg. That's all right. We'll draw our spells now. Would be nice if we had either one of our 1-cost spells left. But we don't. So we need to trade this down. So we'll leave that alone. Unfortunately, they're gonna kill this arms dealer, I think. I would have liked to have protected it somehow so that these could pop off, but... Everyone thinks Moarg is undead. Everyone thinks I'm undead. Because he got 2 tags, people just assume he's undead because you have that many tags. Surely. Yeah, so we know this is Moarg. Face. Yeah, so... I'll take a draw here. I don't mind getting gadgets on out here if they clear it right away. That's fine. I think we have enough value to last us. I hope. Because we still draw with this. And we have more draw here. This generates a tiny bit of value. Gadgetson lives to fight another, you know, moment. Deathstrike Possessifier on first glance looks pretty dang good. Cool. Yeah. So let's knock that down. And we ignore the creeper. I was thinking there might have been a reason to put 1 damage into it. I ended up sending it face, but the reason would be so that they can't value trade here, but a value trade here is fine because it keeps those other spiders locked away. So I really don't think it ultimately matters. Yeah, we are looking good here. 4-8-11. I don't know if I want to draw more with this. We're drawing 2 with this. 7 cards left? Yeah, I don't want to draw any more with that. Let's just, triple nut, I think. Four, 7, 10, 13, 16. We have lethal set up. They can trade, kill a nut. Which would leave us with 4, 7, 10, 13. And they would get 3 armor back. Whatever, my calculations are meaningless. 'Alright. Here's your last shot, buddy. We played the hell out of this game, and Malagos was a crucial key to victory. And if I remember correctly, they asphyxiated the Malagos, which probably means if it had been Lich King, we would have gotten one card out of it, and then it would have gotten killed. And that might not have been enough to win this game, so kind of happy with the Malagos pick. That was exactly the sort of game that we draft Malagos for. Where we draw through pretty much our whole deck. Arms Dealer on 1, Dark Transformation on 2. Baron on 3? We would throw you away. Look for a more like if we're gonna be tempo intensive like this. Yeah, that's good. This is a good start. And now we can choose between 2 or 2. We could maybe do 2, 3, and then this on 4. Or we can just use it next turn if it makes sense. Could even just hero power. Innervate Yeti. Okay, so what do we... They did nothing, so what do we want? I think I want to play the Skulker. And then if they don't kill this, Graveyard Shift gets buffed. Which is great. Another reason to keep this Arms Dealer around. Cool. Three mana Twilight Drake. Is cool. It would be a, what, a 4/4? I think I want to play this, though. And we'll protect. It's so strong if these keep trading and summoning 2/1s. Oh yeah, I'm gonna Dark Transform the crap out of that card. Meaning run into it. Right? I mean, we could also double trade and get more 2/1s. So we could Tangle for hero power to get more cards in hand for the Drake. That's okay. As long as you don't have another such thing. Alright, pretty strong, pretty strong. But Arms Dealer is still alive. Which we sure can take advantage of with a draw like this. Whoa, that's huge. Oh, that's huge. Because that gets the buff there. Trade this down. And the copy is a 4/4, I believe. I really like the way this card plays with a lot of Death Knight stuff. It's low-key, really powerful. And right on cue. Right on cue. Coroner is like the only reason why this card isn't talked about as one of the best of the meta, I think. We're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, wait, that's just 10. So we're 3 off lethal.
Did that just move?
So we were 1 corpse away from getting another copy. That's okay. We have shot our shot, and our efforts will not be forgot. That's true, this isn't one of those cards that's weirdly only enemy minions. I guess you could strike your own. An important thing to keep in mind.
The Lich King versus Maiev.
It's fun to be at the YPFL. It's fun to be at the YPFL. Think we want better support leading up to Malignant. We could find something like a Graveyard Shift. Peasant is very good for that. Oh man, I might... I might... Point of hero power. Pointing hero power into a 1-1 sucks. But otherwise the 1-1 kills this. Now they might dagger, which would be fine. Because they're not playing a minion in that case. But yeah, we get this out. Next turn we get this out, and it's a pretty good chance we will have 4 corpses by the time we're rolling this guy out on turn 4. Yeah, we will certainly have... Oh. I think they're gonna kill our arms dealer. But there's a chance they don't. I think this raises slightly the chance that they don't. Like, they might want to keep it up as a taunt. I'm sure they're gonna kill it, though. Okay. They're gonna kill it and leave the taunt up. Worst of both worlds. But their turn was pretty awkward, on the plus side. And on the other plus side, they're gonna struggle to clear this away. In 2 turns, this will be ready. Next turn, we might be looking at a draw if we have to, or some flexible damage. Okay. You're gonna... Not that I'm complaining, but you're gonna let me have... You're gonna let me have this? Interesting choice. Well, first of all, the question for me here, I think I want to go full tempo. I've answered my own question. And full tempo for me looks, well, something like this. I know what they were thinking in flipping this, but I really don't mind it. I don't mind it. Doubling up on the freeze, I see. So we can actually get 4 corpses here. And it would look something like trade into 2/5, trade 1 damage into 2/5, 4/2 goes into 4/4, 1/2 clears the 2/1. We would have 2 horrors on the board. And we could heal them and copy one of them. Kinda like the play. Maybe it's not the most efficient, but we get another copy off. Alternatives. I mean, we could freeze this, trade 1. I mean, that's a pretty dang good play too. Freeze this, trade 1, trade into there. We gotta go with this idea. The one on the right made that copy, so the one in the middle is first, the one on the left is second, the one on the right is third. It'd be important to remember this. Also, saving a coroner is pretty nice, I guess. Or something scarier. Ouch! Ouch! Make me bleed. I bled yesterday. Just a tiny little teeny tiny bit I bled yesterday. Ruined mithril rod? What? Out of swashbuckler? That's sad. I like jammed my nail into my knuckle. I don't know if you can even see. Just a little bit cut right here. I don't know. I was maybe trying to open something or something like that. Yeah, and this is why you save the coroner. Kaboom. 3, 6, 8, 10, 12. Tell you what, I passed a multicaster for our second coroner. Because I was concerned about generating value. I absolutely don't regret it, because we picked up the Malagos later. If I had gone multicaster there, maybe we would have picked the Lich King, actually. Maybe not. Maybe not. But in any case, double coroner has served us very well. Well, these cards say 1, 2, and 3 on them. But I think the only one that I would consider keeping is Heartstrike, and that's mostly because it's a druid. I'll keep it because sometimes druid early game gets out of hand very fast. Graveyard Shift is nice. Graveyard Shift is one of the backbones of our curve. 2 of them, I don't know, but... I've heard people say that they're not impressed with Graveyard Shift. I love it, it's exactly my kind of card. Give me pings for days, that's how I like to play. Yeah, we'll just soften you up for whenever we need to use Heartstrike to kill you. Probably go this, and then maybe this and this. They might even hero power again next turn. I'm trying to, because if this is on the board and you play this, it's so much better. They did do the hero power play. Okay, here's what I like, I think. Kill that. Get this dead, and get another 2-1 on the board here. So even if they do kill our arms dealer, we've still gotten some pretty solid value out of it. And if these 2 remain, then we can guard them. But like a hero power Graveyard Shift next turn could pop. Okay, never mind. They do in fact kill it. But they need to use their removal on a 1-drop, which is good. And they're actually just hero powering. It's a bit annoying because I did want to guard, but we have many alternatives. Try to figure out positioning. I'll go with this positioning, thinking ahead to guard, because this is going to be an easy thing to trade off. And we want easy things to trade off to be in the middle, so we can make sure we hit the buffs that we want to hit. Yeah, it looks like it will be a guard turn. Not the best guard turn in the world. Maybe we leave that alone. Or maybe we hit it. Hit. Can't actually clear everything. I think we leave that alone. And, like so, maybe? Maybe something like that. Druid doesn't have like a 2 damage AoE like some other classes do. Best in shell. Yeah, Sweeper's always around. That's for sure. I need something different than what I have in this hand. Best in shell is an extraordinarily strong counter to what we have on the board. Yeah, just something like this, maybe. We have a lot of things that can get through these turtles. We do have to find them. Ashbringer, Possessive Fire. That's an obnoxious trade. We might have to Icy Touch that from behind the taunts. Malagos! It's not time for you. Deathstrike. So if we Deathstrike, we can save our Icy Touch. I want to do as high tempo as we can here because I want a Malagos next turn. So we'll do this. We'll be drawing 1, 2... 2 spells? I keep using up all my spells. 2? Sneeze? This is all falling apart. Also, how many of these have I seen today? I saw 2 of them in my Hunter run, I think. Asphyxiate. In that case, I mean, we knew what we were getting, but thinking out loud, if they go face, I might asphyxiate. If they don't, maybe something else. This is still winnable. Yeah, that's a clear asphyxiate. Clear and easy. So, let's spend some moment here thinking through things. We need 3 mana for Asphyx. We would like to get Sea Giant out as well. So, Hero Power. 5 mana Giant Asphyxiate. I'll attack with that. Could make our heal better. Yeah, we took Asphyxiate over the 1 mana weapon, which in retrospect I'm quite happy with. You gonna trade your Sleepy D in as well? Okay. So that means they have another dragon in hand. Drafted. Which is scary. I like trade, transformation, clergy. What will the rest of the turn look like? We need 2, 4, 7. So we could also do mystic. 2, 4, 7, 10. Yo, Marcos. Yo, Marcos. How you doing? I hope splendid is the answer. What a blessed, beautiful heal this is. Both for our minions and for our face. Probably good draws left, I suppose. If we're gonna get any use out of our gadgets on, we need to draw it before we play Icy Touch, because that's our last spell. Hitting us with that Raytheon. A little bit worse than your other legendary was. A little bit.
The streets are not safe.
I'd love to find a Coroner. We have 2 of them. I believe it, Gauschector. I believe. Hero power's happening. Hit, and then touch this? Or touch this? Or maybe... hit here. Touch the 4-5. Send stuff in there. I think that's our play. You could definitely make an argument for putting this into here just to get rid of it. But I think this is fine. Bought a GoPro with accessories? Where are you going to navigate professionally? Where are you going to go with your pro? Jogging and playing soccer? Five kilometers in 22 minutes. I'm sure there's a market for people filming themselves jogging. Because a lot of people don't live in areas where they can do that. It's probably soothing to watch. My dad has been pretty stationary for a while, trying to recover from some surgery, and he told me that like, at night, in the middle of the night when he wakes up in his chair and can't get back to sleep, he watches YouTube videos of people in the woods, like building lean-tos and little tiny cabins and stuff like that. I thought that was nice. I'm gonna leave these guys alone. How am I gonna do this? How am I want to do this? I want room for triple nut is what I want. That's what I really want most of all. And now it's what I've got. Hope the best for him. He's doing amazing. I gotta call him soon. Haven't talked to him in about a week. Yeah, like he's never been the least bit interested in, like, the outdoors. Can we get another lethal off the back of Coroner? Yes! Yes! Yes, we can! Yes, we can. That's gotta be, like, our third, at least, straight up Coroner lethal of the day. Probably fourth or fifth. There's an 18-year-old in Sweden who built a log cabin by hand, just learning as he goes. Easier than by foot. Call the coroner. But not for me! Yeah, he's never been interested in the outdoors or anything, but sometimes just you find a certain thing on the internet that soothes you. The rhythm of it, the pace of it. And I imagine that since he's been like so sedentary for so long, it's probably nice seeing people getting out in the woods and working with their bodies. That was a great game. Setting up that Sun Fury clergy heal was a good moment. I don't care for either of you. You could argue that Possessifier sets up well enough for Sea Giant that you could keep both of them. I think you don't keep the Giant. You could even throw this, but it's a very powerful card. Against a Paladin, we might want it. Might be a coin hero power into hero power for us here. Don't like just playing this. It just gets farmed. We can go hero power, transform on 3. And new plan emerges. Bearing in mind that this will not benefit from this. We saw that earlier. Okay. But even though... What's with the 5s? Even though... But how we want to do this? This actually technically gets through, and because we don't have a play for next turn, I think this is what we want. So we can do Dark Transformation next turn. That got loud very fast. Wow, they're not doing anything. So if we... These fighters are not undead, are they? I think I want to try to keep this around. You could do Skulker and transform this. But... let's just do it this way. We may find more use for you. I don't think these are undeads, but nevertheless, we could draw Malignant, for example. I had more New Year's resolution conversations on stream yesterday. But people demand to know your goals. Well, do you have any? It's fine if you don't. Also, I don't know if I knew you streamed. Let me throw you a follow. Software and game development stream. So what do you do, Marcos, on Twitch? Light Sorrow. Wow, that's a crappy play. As much as I complain about not enough good weapons in Hunter, there aren't a ton of good weapons for like Paladin or Rogue either. There's some stuff. But this is so weak. I think we just do a Scale Bane here and are pretty happy about it. We have a potential Drake and 2 turn. Or one of these if we need them. I do coding streams. I used to be Reaction Andy, watching YouTube videos. That'd be pretty fun. I did a segment on here a couple of times. I think I called it... What did I call it? I don't remember what I called it, but it was just like news and stuff like that, current events. It's just a lot of work to... It's a lot of work for little reward. So I haven't really followed up on it. Yeah, consistency is key. But if you don't... If your main priority and main goal isn't maximizing viewership, then it's great that you just stream whenever you feel like, whatever you feel like. I think that's cool.
The Lich King versus the Lich King.
But there's a certain way you have to play the game of Twitch if you want to move towards sustainability. Which is kind of a fool's errand, if we're being real. I was listening to Dose talk about this on his stream the other day, actually. How he's in, like, the top 0.1% of Twitch streams, and he doesn't even make a proper livable wage. I think he said you have to be, to make what he considers a livable wage, you have to be in the top 0.02% of all streamers. Maybe we can pop up with Arms Dealer again. So like what? Top 1% is 1 out of every 100. Top 0.1% is 1 out of every 1,000. 0.02%? That's 1 out of every 5,000, right? If my math isn't terrible. If we play the Peasant, do you think that they're going to target the dealer still? Because I would love to keep this alive at all costs. Peasant's obviously the best tempo here, but I would consider Heartstrike just to try to keep this alive for this. Whatever, we'll find out. I'm hoping the 2-1 stat line can bait a trade from either the hero power or the 1-3. Don't kill my 1-2, don't kill my 1-2. No, they're gonna kill my 1-2. I cry. We're drawing all our spells early again, which is annoying. I imagine people typically become self-sustaining at 2k viewership and barely get by at 1k viewership. He got Blight-Fanged. Yeah, that sounds about right. Did I? Okay, good. Yeah, Blightfang stopped us cold here. Totally nullified our opening. Oh, yeah, alright. Looks like a 5-on-1 to me. Yeah, I think your estimation is about right. Not gonna lie, I forgot about the other two too. So I actually would have traded differently if I would have remembered. Because now they can hero power and get another malignant copy. I would have traded with the 3-4 into the 2-1. Left them at 2 corpses so that they would need to hero power and somehow get another corpse. That was a mistake on my part. Well, looks like they have as many corpses as they need. The market is so saturated with how easy it is to start. I'm curious what the percentage of actors actress models are trying to make it to who makes it to make a living off it. You lost me at the end there. Yeah, all those practices are pretty skewed. Good Christ. In terms of success, I know I missed 1 damage. I think I don't care. I think this is the one that will copy, so copy a frozen one, I guess. But Twitch is especially bad, I think. Like top 0.02%. Like, you can make a living as an actor. Like, way more people proportionally make a living as an actor. It's not easy. It's one of the hardest professions I know of to sustainably live on. But it's better than 0.02%. Because it's not like you have to be in big movies as an actor. You could be a dinner theater actor. You could be a regular-ass theater actor. You could be a voice actor, a video game actor. You could do books on tape, right? There's a lot more different platforms you could try out. Whereas Twitch kind of has a monopoly and they don't really pay or treat their content creators that well. I'm gonna make this a little easier on us here. Okay, I know we got Malagos in hand, but this is a fucked situation that can't get unfucked, in my opinion. Highly variable because it's down to donations. Get a few Oilers in your stream and you could see sustainability sooner than 2K viewership. Yeah, every stream has different composition of like what works for them in terms of income. If you get some whales, you could definitely do pretty well for yourself. The problem with whales are that they're capricious. Most of them you don't hold their interest forever, you know? We keep this. Probably not if we keep this. I don't need it. The other problem with whales from my point of view is that I talk a little bit too much about Eat the Rich to attract a lot of whales, I think. Talk a little bit too much shit on the ruling class. People aren't in here giving me 50 gifted subs and then listening to me shit on their way of life. That doesn't really happen. Is Twitch transparent with their profit and revenue? No. In fact, there was... I want to say about a year ago, there was a leak in which the amount of money that the top echelon of streamers make got released to the public accidentally. Which I think is actually a very good thing. You know, it sucks for those people to have their laundry aired out. But I'm all about transparency. I think this, like, don't talk about what you make is just bullshit. Meant to keep us from, you know, colluding with our fellow workers. I think it's great that we saw how few women make all the money on Twitch, for example, and, like, how minuscule a percentage of people get so much money and all that. So yeah, Twitch is not transparent with that stuff. But everything's transparent if you leak hard enough. So we have options here. I think I might just graveyard shift and sit around. Dormant Guard on 4, Possess a Fire on 5. Could also value trade here. Let's do it that way. Consec's pretty strong, I guess. From what I know about modeling and acting, it's terribly difficult to make it sustainably. But I think it's easier than on Twitch, proportionally. I know less about modeling, but yeah, like I was saying about acting, there's just a lot of different ways to do that, and there isn't on Twitch. I had my first day back in the office today. It reminded me of how much I need humanity to hurry up and advance to the point where human labor is no longer required. Yeah, people thought that the dawn of the Industrial Revolution at that time was coming. But what they didn't realize is that a minute percentage of people can get ultra rich by forcing people to do pointless jobs that don't add anything to anything. They forgot to take that into account. Let me go bump bump. Trying to figure out what the best way to do this might be. I'm just gonna tell you to sit tight for now. And do one of these. So we got Possess a Fire next turn. Communism in a nutshell. The most important thing to understand about communism, I think. And look, I'm not up on all the specific terms of like what's the difference between communism and socialism and dialectical Marxism and the anti-disestablishmentarianism and all the isms. I'm not super accurate in my knowledge of all that. I like to work in broad strokes, big ideas. I think the most important thing to realize about communism is that it hasn't happened yet. It's still very much theoretical. Because it cannot happen until capitalism is dismantled globally. Because until then, the global order will still be capitalist. And any part of that global order that attempts to create communism for itself will be couped, probably by the United States, or choked out economically, or in some other way squashed. It's the same reason why ethical business doesn't exist. Because all the businesses that try to be ethical just get bankrupted immediately. So when people say, obviously, communism is a terrible idea, look at all these examples, and they just list A, B, C, D. most of what they're listing is thinly veiled fascism, which is totally different from communism. And some of what they're listing was an attempt at communism that got its knees, well, kneecapped by world powers. So the distinction between a working social system, like an attempt at a working social system, and an attempt at it that is only that system in name is immense difference, and it totally gets erased when people are like, well, communism doesn't work, look at these examples. What's the closest to communism that has occurred? I'm not really a historian, so I don't have a satisfying answer to that question. I don't even have an unsatisfying answer. But from a broad theoretical perspective, I don't think that we can even try it until capitalism is on its way out. Because we're in a time of globalism, the global order self-regulates. It doesn't allow for social experiments, let's say. Ashbringer, hit here, hit there, go face. Seems okay. They pretty much heal the full. I mean, they do heal the full. But I think that's fine. I want to assume the costs for Amazon to pay for the costs of streaming and all the infrastructure still isn't profitable for them. I hear streaming services as a whole are struggling with that. I would be skeptical that Twitch isn't doing well just because they take such an immense cut from our profits. Maybe the infrastructure is so expensive to keep up that they're not making a ton of money. I really don't know the answer to that. But that they do take a big cut. Five, 6, 7, 8 damage. Okay. What else do we want to do? That's 3 mana. We have 4 mana left over. Probably don't want to use this then. We'll probably play 2 drops. This and this look pretty good 2-drop wise. But I think you're right that the streaming model that companies are still trying desperately to figure out how to turn a profit, or even what a profit looks like. Like, the whole system is changing. It's much more about ad revenue now in an obscure way than it used to be. Like, you used to be able to have some idea what your ratings are because there's only like 4 networks, and people would send out these questionnaires and stuff. But now everything's so scattered. Oh my. It's really difficult for the services to know what's working. And you see Netflix, which seems like a totally incompetently run organization, canceling shows before they have a chance to find their voice. And like spending a crap ton of money on the rights to something like Glass Onion, giving it a bizarrely limited theatrical release window, and then hardly even advertising it when it finally comes to their platform. Um, 4, 7, 10. I mean, this needs to die. It's a damn good Doomsayer Gambit, I'll say. Good for you. Good for you. I will try for Reckoning. Not Reckoning. Avenge, I guess? Yep. Should have drawn a long time ago, but... God damn it. Keep the spells in the deck! Keep the spells in the deck. We have 1, 2, 3... 3 spells left to draw. Actually don't know what communism is by definition. I only know it through examples. Yeah, and those examples aren't communism, right? What do bums do in a communist country? Get ostracized like in capitalist countries? Well, you have to ask yourself the question, why do bums exist? What creates a bum? You know, we've talked about houselessness recently and extensively, but it's worth repeating that the reason that houselessness exists like it does in the United States is profit. It's an intentional choice. There are ways to house and care for all these people, ways that are totally ignored because for the work system to function, the labor force needs to act under the threat of houselessness. The idea that if you lose your job and can't find another, you will lose a house and be on the streets is a necessary threat for continuing to get the labor force to work jobs that don't treat them well. So if capitalism creates bums, then it won't be that much of a problem in communism. There will be social support systems, and I need to figure this play out real quick. Hang on a second. I think we just Mally. And we could draw, knock that shield off, and go face a little bit. This seems like a fine play. Which generated 2.6 billion revenue. It's all Monopoly money. Like, all these games of like revenue and tax returns and offshore accounts, and it's just Monopoly money. People move it around, make it look like what they want to look like. But yeah, the catchphrase of communism or socialism or whatever is from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. So under capitalism, it's you work the jobs that we let you work or you die. Under communism, it would be like, what skills do you have? What value can you offer your community? What are you physically able to do? And what do you need? What are your particular personal needs? What are your family needs? What are your housing needs? And we figure out ways to provide all that shit for each other. In a more technical sense, I believe that one difference between communism and socialism is how exactly the means of production are handled. Means of production is another way of saying like the infrastructure, the resources. After you summon an undead, give it +1 attack. So we do have perfect lethal, yes. Just making sure. Boom. All these strong cards, and it's Arms Dealer that got us there. You know, funny that we happen to be talking about Monopoly as well, because Monopoly is a board game that was created as a critique of capitalism, actually. It was a thought experiment made by a socialist to show why and how capitalism is unsustainable. Even if you all start out on equal footing, which you do in the game and don't in life. even if you do start out on equal footing, very quickly, the happenstance of who happens to own what property tumbles all resources into a big pile, and that person just makes life miserable for the rest of the players for the next 2 hours until they finally lose, which they knew they were going to lose 2 hours ago, you know? And so what was originally a critique of capitalism became the most capitalist game of all, because there's 5,000 versions of Monopoly that get sold as collector's items that nobody buys to play. They just buy to have. It's so funny. It's the ideal example for how capitalism takes radical ideas and sucks them up and makes them support capitalism. Anyway. Yeah, the distinctions of types of socialism and communism, like, some of them have to do with, you know, does the state own the means of production rather than private corporations? Do the people own the means of production in some way via some sort of commune structure or party structure? All the specifics of this shit I don't know very much about, to be honest. I don't have a mind for facts and data points as much as I do about concepts and theories. Yeah, Marcos, you say lack of a support system to achieve goals. A lot of it is about opportunity structure. You know, our labor is coerced by corporations for reasons that I already discussed. We don't give it willingly, we give it because we have to. And a lot of people, when they hear about a different social system that could happen after capitalism, they say, well, that's not going to work because people need to be incentivized, sometimes violently, to work, because they just won't do it otherwise, because people are lazy and greedy. But I don't believe that's true. I believe people think people are lazy and greedy because that's how people have to be to survive under capitalism. But if your labor could actually be meaningful, I kind of hate using this, but we'll stay on tempo this way. If you live in a world where your labor can be meaningful to you, can be something potentially that you enjoy, and can be something that you see other people needing and appreciating, you're gonna be a lot more eager to participate in the labor force. You're gonna have a better opportunity structure. You're gonna have more ways to accomplish what's important to you in life, rather than just what is prescribed. And you would have fewer of these lines of work, like Twitch or like acting or whatever, that are vital and important lines of work for art and entertainment, but that are totally underfunded and disrespected because they don't generate heaps of profit like tech does, or like weapons manufacturing does. Needs are malleable, for sure. And I think that we would find in a system that supports us rather than exploits us that our needs are a lot different than we thought that they were. What play are we interested in here? I don't think Sea Giant quite does it. We could do a Scalebane double trade into the 2/5. We could also do Possessifier. 1 goes in here, 3 go in here. That hits there, that hits there. That's pretty damn good, actually. So do we like Scalebane or Possessifier? The scary thing about Scalebane is that it leaves spell damage up. But I think otherwise it might be the stronger play. Yeah, and, you know, Monopoly has the bank that has to support the system, and Monopoly also... not only is it already a more ideal system than the one we live in because you start on the same playing field, but it has universal basic income. Every time you pass go, you collect $200. That's universal basic income in a nutshell, and I think the game also demonstrates why universal basic income, as nice as it is to get, is not in any way, shape, or form the answer. Pretty funny. Weapons manufacturing as being profitable is an oxymoron because if used, it leads to the opposite of production, destruction. The only hopes of salvaging anything is to segregate humanity and steal from others. Yeah, something a lot of people say is that capitalism is the most efficient way that we have to organize our resources. But what the hell are they smoking, the people who say that? What the hell are they smoking? And can I have some? Because you see with something like weapons manufacturing, you see the difference between true productivity and profit. And this is all in Marx. You know, mostly Marx didn't talk about communism, he talked about capitalism. He was just an academic that was like, hey, this is how markets work. This is how profit works. And he made the basic argument of... Okay, well, good thing we have a coroner here. It's not a basic argument he makes, it's actually really annoyingly dense, but I'm trying to boil it down. Let me do this. We can even do a tempo asphyxiate, I think. Ashbringer next turn. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. What is profit? It doesn't just come out of nowhere. Value doesn't get created out of nowhere. Profit comes from the exploited labor of the working class, and the argument is that eventually capitalism's contradictions of needing to perpetually pursue profit will not sustain the infrastructure, will not... Oh my god! These Harkeners! Holy moly! The system will eventually crumble under its own weight. If profit is the only metric by which we operate. I think we Malagos here. And hell, we might just sit around. Well, we'll pop one of these, how about that? Pop you. Kill you. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I think we want to leave it at this. That way there's 6/6 won't have initiative for attacking. Cool ideas in this shaman deck. I respect what they're doing here. Annoyingly dense, that's what my teachers used to call me. Yeah, but like weapons manufacturing, we spent billions of dollars making weapons to use to destroy things that will then piss more people off who will want more weapons to destroy more things. It's a comically inefficient allocation of resources. But it's exactly the sort of thing that capitalism requires to keep its engine going. I think Catch-22 is a really good novel about the absurdism of war in this sense. We've already used our asphyxiate. Shaman is really giving us a run for our money. The butter battle book? yeah. Allow. The automod didn't like that you said destroy Russian. The Ukraine stuff is absolutely about weapons manufacturing profits. It's not about justice. It's not about doing what's right, defending the weak or innocent. It's about weapons manufacturing, top to bottom. We can do one of these. Let me strike you. Oh, fudge. I ran out of time because I was blabbering. But it's fine because I didn't want to... I should have killed this, I think. We've been through... Like, how many... Like, they've played 2 of these. They corpse raised. They reborned. I would love to maybe draw a Coroner. That'd be nice. Making the argument that it can be profitable. That's exactly my point. The fact that weapons manufacturing is profitable and therefore our entire society is structured around it tells me that the idea of structuring your society around profit is the dumbest fucking thing imaginable. Like, if this is the result of that, it doesn't help anyone. The only thing it does is line the pockets of the ultra-rich and kill the poor. So the fact that it's profitable to many people who are raised under capitalism would be enough justification by itself, but to me it's the most damning evidence that the system needs to change. We might icy touch this guy. I think we'll probably use our weapon here. Let's get the Drake down while it's large. Kind of running out of cards in our deck, actually. It takes so much resources to get through their stuff. You can polymorph the 2/2. Yeah, you're right about that. Maybe we should have done that. It's not that many fewer stats if we... It's not really polymorph, it's make it into a 4/5, which is... Dude, what do I have to do? Is it worth it? A 2/2 and a 6/6 turn into a 4/5? It's probably worth it. Because we need to get past him. We need to touch this. A bit difficult to know exactly what's right in terms of trades here. I did it this way so that this could impact these cards, but not easily be killed by what can attack this turn. We could have used this, but... oh man. So let's see here. If they can remove the Sea Giant, then next turn we could get Horror going. I wouldn't be terribly opposed to asphyxiating that. But I don't know that that really gets us where we want to go. We could Icy Touch it. Six health. I want to get more minions out there. I don't really care if... I mean, they're gonna kill our Sea Giant, I'm sure, one way or the other. We're up at 7-1. Our opponents know the value of a Banshee, I think. Alright. Works for me. PSA, meaning Banshee, is a totally fine card, chat. Streamers have been saying this for years, but you don't need to worry in most games about removing a bunch of cards from your deck. If the Banshee sticks around for like 3 turns, you might maybe have to get concerns. But most matchups, the tempo gain from the Banshee is worth the cards that you lose. My caveat is that that used to be more true than it is now. Now a 4-mana 5/5 doesn't get you as far as it used to. So the question comes back around to, like, is it enough worth it? I don't know the answer. We could go double nut. Freeze the 6/6, go face. Or maybe trade that. We could Ashbringer. We're not gonna get 8 corpses here. I think I like this line. We don't have to deal with the 6/6 yet. We'll deal with it later. Possibly with this. Our hand is nicely reactive. Yeah, that'll be an asphyxiate for sure. Or do we... This is interesting. I think we want to Coroner it. Is that true? I think it's true. Coroner. Kill that. I would use a kill card because they're at 27 life. Meaning you don't like silencing it. The way I see it, this totally nullifies that 8-8. That 8-8 is now worthless. And if we get into a situation a turn or two from now where it becomes scary for some reason, we'll just asphyxiate it then. Yeah, like this. This is perfect for us. We'll just asphyxiate this. Nice. They might just... I mean, is it lethal? 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14... Oh, and then some. But only lethal because it didn't get the armor. It was silenced. Yeah, a question like that, whether it's worth it to try to kill them fast and smork and deal the damage, whether they have too much life to do that or not, it's a hard question to answer, and it has everything to do with momentum. I sensed in that moment that if we just went ham on their face, like you use Moarg as a last resort, right? That gives me the read that they don't have great answers to us. So a face race can be really effective there. I like this hand. Skulker on 2, Bone Digger plus Cadaver on 3. Bone Digger uses the corpse from Skulker. But this will generate 2 corpses. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. If they don't play anything else here, like if they just tap, I don't know what we do. I guess we could kill this. Like you could trade in here and hero power Cadaver. Ooh. I like that. I was going to hero power kill, Cadaver kill, which is a pretty strong play. But I'll happily just get a 4-5 out. When you have a choice between pretty solid curve play and reactive removal, I often go for the reactive removal. I often save the reactive removal and go for the stat cards. Because it's harder for a stat card to get you out of bad situations. You want to be proactive with those. We'll make it virtually impossible for them to use their Ragu well. Chemist can be scary. There's some good stuff in there. We... we are not ready for you. The world is not ready. How about... how about we get ready? So now we got 3 corpses. We can hero power with horror next turn. To get another one. Potion of Madness. I guess I should look out for that, huh? For those wondering what Stuve is talking about, it's one of the ones that can come out of the Cabal Chemist. You could do Coroner and Horror. Freeze this up. Send the 1-2 in and have this active. You get more damage face that way. I think I will still do this line. Because this value trade is pretty good. You still get some damage face. And it preserves Coroner to get us through some nasty stuff later. Picking and choosing when you want your high impact stuff to come. It would have been good tempo here, but not quite good enough for me to justify losing it as a resource. I used to think I could counter Malignant with Faceless, but as it turns out, you can't get corpses as other classes. They are gonna fix that, Antonio. They've expressed their intention to fix that. Make it so that other classes can get corpses. I think what I heard is the way that they'll do it is if you get a Death Knight card, ouch, that uses corpses, your corpse counter will start at that point. That's what I heard. Deep run. So they're at 6. Deep run. So I can get Sneeds out of this. Can and did. Deep run. What a dangerous thing that can come out of Tanglefur. Yeah, Bunker Sergeant. Somebody brought Bunker Sergeant up yesterday. I realized that would be the perfect thing to have to counter horrors in the meta. Hellfire, yeah. Draw first. You put them to 4, and you just have these on the board, it's enough to kill. Because you can buff with that. So maybe we'll try that, actually. It's a weaker play, but that might deceive them into under-preparing, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes you want as many stats on the board as possible so that you will be able to get through something like a Shattered Gargoyle, but we have Coroner in hand, so that doesn't matter at all. But yeah, we win. We're not even gonna use the Sneeds. We don't have a need for Sneed. Coroner lethal once more. Bada bing, bada boom. It's lunchtime already. Maybe I will warm up some leftovers after this run. Anybody have any favorite cards from the new set? Have any cards that, regardless of how good or bad they are, you really love to play with? Need for Sneed sounds like a movie I'd watch. And I just bought a couple of super cheap on sale Need for Speed games because I was like I was so aimless the other night, and I was like, you know what I haven't played in a decade? A racing game, like a car racing game. So I got these uber cheap, no pun intended, car games. One of them is Need for Speed Heat. I started playing that one. The single player campaign is atrocious. It's so bad. Really not a good game. But it scratched the itch I needed it to, so. Yeah, we're not in a hurry to kill a squirrel. Like, there's an open world and you have to drive to races. It's so tedious. I don't know why they make you do that stuff. And then the cops are always showing up to fuck with you. Enough of that in real life. Kind of forced into a slow play here. Noxious could be important. This is an extremely scary start from Druid, by the way. Yeah, anyone have any favorite cards from the new expansion? I like Possessifier a lot. And I also love the Druid 1-drop with 3 layers. The 1-1 Death Rattle, 1-1 Death Rattle, 1-1. I just like pings, you know? Coroner is a favorite of mine. For sure, maybe top 3. That's my playstyle in a nutshell. We have absolutely no way to touch this. It's really bad. We need something with stats. It's Keleseth. Well, 4 2-cost cards left in deck. It's possible we activate it. Yo, we're gonna have to silence this on turn 6. That's what this is looking like. Maybe not. I like the Epic Druid spell. That's the... Which one is that? Is that the 6-cost one? That summons all the 1 and 2-cost cards? Yeah, there's my baby, Lingering Zombie. Okay, so... We killed the cauldron, at least. Barely, but we did it. It generated, what, like 3 shaman spells? Or only 2? So, not terrible. It's the one that steals stats from a minion for each of your undead. Oh, okay. I haven't played with that one yet. Interesting choice. Tidal Surge. Okay. Fine. Can't play that, can't play that. Can play that if we want to. Don't think that's worth it. Unplayable. Don't really care to play that. Might just do 2 nuts. It'd be sweet if the discount carried over. How many acorns does this put in your deck? 4? So you've already drawn 1? Ocean Belt. Is that the 2-mana one? That discovers 2 concoctions? That's probably on my top 10 list as well. That's a good one, Ermal. Unfortunately, it's a little bit dull to play sometimes because you're almost always choosing destroy a random enemy minion, in my experience. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Or give them... Oh, this BS. Well, I was just silenced that. It's gonna be the buff, right? Maybe we can leverage this. You can, like, trade here. Hero power. Probably safest just to silence it, huh? Maybe we silence that shit. I bet it's the buff. And it says all minions. So let's try this. It was damage? No way. Alright. Outplayed. And we used our Coroner up. Oh, I may have just lost the game with that nonsense. Outplayed. 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 But it ain't over till it is over. I did not play that turn correctly. However, I don't think I was necessarily wrong to use the Coroner on the squirrel. If they suddenly have 7 acorns in their deck, which they would have, I feel like that gets a little scary. Speaking of scary, we just got Coroners. Guess we deserve that. Running out of good and smart things to do. Would have loved if we could heal some minions as well, but the healing has to happen now, I think. Been seeing a lot of Forge Fiends today. I mean, with Coroner alone, we've frozen Forge Fiend for lethal like 3 times. Two. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have perfect lethal if we do this. So we lose. Good for you, Druid. Good for you. That you don't see that card played a lot. The Fate Spinner or whatever the hell it was. I felt like I had a read that it was buff, but it was damage. That was a wild one. We got 3, we got 4. We got 1 and we got 2. Sad that I missed that turn. It was it was a lot to think about. And we thought about it exactly wrongly. Not into coining anything here. I'm content to... I think I'm content to just skulk here. And not do anything else. Next turn, if we want to, we can coin this with this. Meat grinder. Whoa! Now. Whoa! So they almost certainly value trade into here because it's important for them to kill that. And it's the only value trade they have. Which is sad because we don't get to buff this, but I think it was worth it to accomplish this. We could hero power Peasant and not worry about having to trade a bunch of stuff into this, which we don't want to trade into. Yeah, I don't hate hero power Peasant. Peasant's good enough that it can be a proper threat. And then next turn we come down with this, or after this even. We could come down with this next turn. They could assume that we won't have enough for another copy, and then we could hit them with a turn 6 Possessor Fire to surprise them. Yeah, the opponent had a way more of a board presence than us, and their minions were weak. So I was like, there's no way that it's the AoE. There's no way they would take that chance. I was wrong, there was a way. Which of these? If you play this, you're probably double trading. Are you triple trading? My hope with that approach was to be cognizant of the possibility that I might summon some sort of taunt, perhaps something with an undead tag. So we want to get rid of the 6/4 first. Okay. And they kill our 3/3, right? I would have loved it if they just did some other thing, but am I also triple trading? I think I am. As sad as it is. Fewer minions on the board means less flexibility. More corpses for us. Maybe that matters. We don't have a very reactive hand, though. We'll just Tangle into Astalor. How about that? No problems.
Neither snow nor rain nor witch.
Okay. So you've killed one. And you have... What is that? Nice order, Ding Dong. You missed a corpse. Alright, well that sucks for us, but at least we got something left to copy. Okay. Gurge is unholy, right?
Everybody needs a castle.
I don't know if I've even used this yet. But we should have plenty of corpses for it. I think this turn I do want the extra 2/1. I'll spend 4 corpses on that. Probably will hold off using this for a while. Should build up plenty of corpses. Tangle for a Mystic gives great stuff. 1s and 2-drops have gotten a lot more dynamic over the years. They have a lot more abilities attached to them to keep them relevant. So something like Tangle for gets more interesting. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Kings on
These deal 2. Try to keep pressure up. Coroner and Bonemer. Fuck. Well, it looks like it may be Marrogar time. However, maybe just Coroner time. Three for 5. Start with this. Hilarious. Coroner you. And this is totally an instance where we could have been happy with Marrogar. But I am perhaps needlessly saving it. For some inscrutable time in the future when we might need it more. And as long as we can sustain ourselves fine without it, keep saving it. Maybe I'll use it here. Let's see. What exactly does this do? Raise all your corpses as 1/1s. Each that can't fit, give 1+. That's insane, man. That's insane. So the more minions we already have on the board, the taller Marrogar will be. The rushes, I mean. So I guess we'll hero power first? My intention here is to win. Wow. That was Tanglefur, right? That was all Tanglefur. It gave us the Discover that gave us the Marrogar. Yeah, my intention, I was gonna say, was to leave the 13/13 at full health to make a corpse explosion as difficult as possible, but they probably had enough corpses anyway. Wasn't really tracking it, but... keep a reactive heart strike. I'll keep a great curve piece and get another great curve piece. We could even coin 2s. There's no way that they don't in some way let this peasant die, right? There's no way. Like, the worst play is probably a hero power, and that kills. Which we need. Lovely. Oh, we're gonna roll this Death Knight. They're gonna have to have a really spicy combo in their deck to stand up to what we're doing here. Because we're gonna have Malignant ready on 4, I think. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. So I guess we won't. But we will have a giant out. So we could Giant and Heart Strike the 3-2, or we could Hero Power and Giant. The reason I'm trading only one in is because I don't want to get into a situation where I have to run this and this into the taunts. By trading one of these in, I weaken that such that we can get through with 1-1s in some cases. I didn't think it would matter, but just in case, you know. I'm annoyed that they're gonna draw a lot of cards now. However, I think Scalebane could be good. Because I have to imagine they're gonna prioritize killing the Sea Giant. And that might leave the Scalebane alive to buff our Horror. That would be wonderful. Discover. So, unless they find Asphyxiate exactly, I think our Scalebane has a really good shot at surviving. Death Strike, too much mana. Yeah, what's more important to you? So they kill neither. I have to admit that throws me for a loop. I'm gonna try to hit the 50-50 here, I think. Right here, buddy. Yes! Oh, yes. Chad, I want to introduce you to my friend who just walked into the joint. Charles got the Smarls. Charles got the Smarls. I hope you have a good time in the fun dungeon. And I'm sorry about your condition. Nobody wants the Smarls, especially during the holidays.
One more death cat hurts.
Another one? This is a card that annoys me whenever I see it come down. Dirty rat strats! My hero. I mean, if I could somehow get 2 corpses, that'd be clutch. 3, 2, 5, 5, 1, 3 goes in there. I guess that would be a way to do it. Can we draw? I want a double copy turn here. It's worth it to me to keep that alive. I think we could just win if we get this double copy and they don't have corpse explosion. They can draw more cards now because they didn't kill that, but getting the double copy, it just feels worth it, right? You're lost. In what way are you lost? And how can I remedy that for you? Wow, that's annoying. Face? Really? Really? How peculiar. Whatever you said about the new member of the dungeon. Well, the new member of the dungeon redeemed a name mangle channel points redemption, which is a channel points redemption that requires me to mangle their name. So I looked at their name, thought of a way to mangle it, said it out loud, and then I yes-anded myself as a bit to follow through on the logic of a nonsense name. And that's how we got to where we are now. If it made sense, it wouldn't be a proper mangle. We just win, right? 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, we're good. Lethal with Weapon, good movie. Chat, I do believe this is gonna be our final boss. One way or the other, it all ends here. Film rating for Knives Out. So does that one show up in your chat, All Black? Does Tomo's film review request show up? Because I was under the assumption that everyone could see when channel points are redeemed, but... Anyway, Tomo has requested a Knives Out film rating review. I would give Knives Out... I'm a self-professed Rian Johnson fan. I like him as a director. Knives Out is not my favorite movie of his. Which was a bit strange because it was the movie that everyone finally got on board the Rian Johnson train. It was like a critical and a public darling and made a ton of money. I found it to be a strong 3.5 out of 5 blobs, or maybe a weak 4 out of 5 blobs. I really love a lot of aspects of the movie. I think Daniel Craig is super funny in it. I think the protagonist is a good character. I think the mystery itself is a really good and interesting one. The thing that holds me back from liking Knives Out more is that it has this like sense of humor that is really topical, and a lot of it involves characters just like saying memes out loud. And to me, that it worked okay as satire, but not good enough for me to like it more, you know? I guess I wish the satire was more interesting and less, like, obvious. My favorite movie of his is probably Looper. I think Looper's a phenomenal sci-fi movie. Super underrated. Possibly one of my favorite movies. That's a movie that over and over and over again surpassed my expectations as I was watching it. I guess we could... I don't know. Maybe I want to throw this and try to find a 1 or something. That is with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing each other. Not a great opening hand for a final boss, but we'll see what we can do here. I also deeply love Brick, his first movie. It's a neo-noir. I'm generally a fan of neo-noir. And I'm a huge fan of The Last Jedi as well. To me, is the most meaningful and interesting Star Wars property in a very long time. At least until Andor came out. But X-Ray Joe already pointed out what's arguably Johnson's masterpiece, which is his brief work on Breaking Bad. He directed 3 episodes on that show, and they're 3 of the best episodes in the whole show, in my opinion. One of which is probably my favorite episode of the whole show. So that's cool. Could just hero power here. I don't know that it's really worth it to put this down. The Fly is one of them, yeah. The Fly, Ozymandias, and a 3rd episode that I can't remember the name of, but it's the one where Skylar walks into the swimming pool, which is one of my favorite moments in the show. When Brian Cranston gets into the telepod with that fly. Oh, the sexual tension alone. You're a problem card. You need to die. I'm just gonna use my hero power for my whole final boss game. No one can do anything about it.
My blood for the Lich King.
Okay, pretty strong. Pretty strong. We have to assume they have some good removal now. We'll just keep being behind, then they won't be able to do anything with their removal. All of our cards are mana thirst.
I can be very persuasive.
Strong opponent, strong opponent. Let me just kill the 3/3, even though it's not an amazing hit. Just trying to buy time until my sentinels. A strangely inert turn. Okay, there's more. Just to discover. I may even Coroner. It's a bit strange, but I think I'm gonna Coroner the 1/2. It's a card that can get out of hand, but I really don't want to use a weapon charge on it, so let's just Coroner that. And buff our 2/2. We'll say that's good enough for now. They got us down to half health, but we have some healing here, and we have a lot of good taunt. Okay. Do I have to Coroner this again? I'm just worried about like Malignant and stuff. Maybe I just need to not worry about it. Putting our big boys out. We're not left with much if they have a good clear here. And I feel like they probably do. But we gotta do something. And it doesn't involve this, that's for sure. I can't believe we drafted a Gadget Auctioneer. We deserve not to get 12 just for that. Hold the line! Hold the line! Did I make any resolutions? Are you asking me that because it's what you ask people during the New Year times? Or are you asking me that to make fun of me because I went on an hour-long rant about how I don't like New Year's resolutions the other day? I could see either being the case. What did you... Oh, no! Bad news. Okay, that's very bad news. So we need to go face. But first, I guess we need to do this. That big body tears through our taunts. So we have healing with the clergy, which is important. Alright, yeah, I think that's probably it for us. It was a good run. Migraine. Did anybody make any New Year's resolutions? I shit all over New Year's resolutions, but like I said at the time, it's not because I think it's bad to make them. I just don't like the attitude around them. I guess something like this would be the play if we're gonna try to stay in this. Are they for Satan? New Year's resolutions are for Sisyphus. Yeah, I think to boil down my rant, I think New Year's resolutions most of the time are used as an excuse to not do any reflection. Like, if I decide that this aspect of my life that I've singled out will be different in this new year, then I don't actually have to do any self-reflection about my life, my habits, and my tendencies and all that. But if you are using it as an actual opportunity to self-reflect, I think that's cool. So in what world would we be able to find lethal? It's not like we have burn in our deck. So probably no world. But if we ship 5, 7, 9 to the face, 10 to the face, they're at 23. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13. We could find Death Strike. That would do it. So if that's the case, we do want to be trading, if that's our goal, to find Death Strike. I could have done this a little bit differently, but... Twitch is dead? Oh no, don't go to another channel, chat. Don't do it. You're stuck with me. Well, I gotta get all my... Now that I've lost the final boss, I need to get all my most vile hot takes out of my system. Now that you're all trapped in here with me. Funny thing is, I was about to take a break, which would make you a captive audience. Yeah, 11 wins. We didn't get 12, so no MVP. If we did MVP something, obviously Gadgets on Actioneer. Heck W. I don't know, maybe Possessifier, maybe Horror. Sentinel would be a candidate. Graveyard Shift would be a candidate. And Coroner as well. But yeah, good run. Your most vile hot take? I don't want to say the take I had that made people most angry, because it's just going to make people angry again. I had one take on stream that I remember. People got mad at me about... I don't want to live through that again. It's not even... I can't think of anything else. Oh, here's one. Say it and don't... mayonnaise is like the best sauce, and you could put it on just about anything that sauce goes on, and it would make it better. How about that for a vile hot take?